"Don't cry, mister. You can borrow my mom," said the little boy to the CEO sitting alone at the park. Snow was falling softly over the Christmas park, coating every bench, every tree, every light with a gentle white glow, but for the man sitting alone in a black suit, the world felt heavier than winter. Lucas Grant, one of the youngest CEOs in the country, idolized by millions, was hunched forward, elbows on his knees, staring at the ground like it held all his failures. This was supposed to be his greatest year. His company had just broken every record, investors praised him, magazines celebrated him, but none of that mattered tonight. Moments ago, he had stood in his empty penthouse, staring at the last message from the woman he once planned to marry. "I can't live in a world where your success matters more than your heart." She was gone. His parents were gone. His friends drifted away years ago. For the first time, the man everyone saw as powerful, untouchable, felt painfully, completely alone. So he walked, without thinking, until he found himself sitting on a cold park bench beneath a giant glowing Christmas tree, trying not to break. And then, just when the loneliness was about to crush him, a tiny mitten tapped his knee. Lucas lifted his head, startled, and saw a small boy in a red jacket, holding a cookie in his hand and looking up at him with big winter blue eyes. "Don't cry, mister," the little boy said softly, his breath forming small clouds. "You can borrow my mom." Lucas blinked, confused. "What?" The boy stepped closer, offering him the cookie like it was some kind of treasure. "When I'm sad, mommy hugs me. And then I feel better. So, you can borrow her. Only for a little." Lucas chuckled through the tightness in his throat, the sound shaky and broken. "Why would you do that for a stranger?" The boy shrugged, completely serious. "Because no one should be alone on Christmas. Mommy says lonely hearts need extra love." At that moment, the boy's mother appeared, walking through the snowy path with warm lights behind her. She was beautiful, not just in looks, but in the soft, caring expression that immediately filled her face when she saw her son talking to a stranger. "Timmy," she called gently, hurrying over. Lucas quickly wiped his eyes, embarrassed, straightening his posture like a soldier caught crying. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "He just came up to me." But the mother smiled kindly. "He does that. He thinks everyone is his friend." Timmy tugged her coat. "Mommy, he needs a hug." She froze, looking at Lucas with sudden understanding. And in that moment, something inside Lucas shattered, a lifetime of holding everything together, of pretending he was fine, of believing vulnerability was weakness. Words failed him. His chest felt too tight. His eyes burned again. And the mother, without hesitation, sat beside him on the bench. "I don't know what you're going through," she said softly, "but no one should cry alone." The snow kept falling. The boy held out his cookie until Lucas finally accepted it with shaking fingers. For the first time in years, someone looked at him not as a CEO, not as a billionaire, not as a headline, just as a hurting human being. And that was the moment everything began to change. Lucas held the cookie in his hand like it was something sacred, a small reminder that kindness still existed in the world, and it struck him how long it had been since someone did something for him without expecting anything back. The mother, whose name he soon learned was Emily, sat beside him, her presence warm and gentle against the cold night. Timmy bounced happily in the snow, building a tiny snowman at their feet while humming a Christmas song slightly off-key. Lucas watched him for a moment, his voice barely above the whine when he whispered, "I didn't mean to cry, I'm just tired." Emily nodded as if she understood every word he couldn't say. "Life can get heavy," she murmured. "Sometimes too heavy, but sharing it even for a moment makes it lighter." Lucas swallowed hard. "I don't think anyone has cared about my feelings in a long time." Emily turned her head toward him, her eyes soft but steady. "Then tonight is a good night to start." They talked, not about money or business or achievements, but about real things. Lucas told her about the loneliness of success, how the higher he climbed, the fewer people remained. Emily told him about losing her husband 3 years ago, raising Timmy alone, and working double shifts to keep their little home warm. They were from two completely different worlds, yet somehow, in the snowy glow of the Christmas park, their stories aligned like puzzle pieces. Timmy soon ran back, proudly showing Lucas the snowman with crooked arms. "He's smiling," Timmy declared. "Like you should. Mommy says hearts grow when they smile." Lucas felt something shift inside him, something long frozen finally thawing. "Can I ask something?" Lucas said softly, looking at Emily. "Why are you being so kind to me? You don't even know me." Emily took a slow breath, brushing snowflakes from her coat. "Because I know what it feels like to wish someone would notice your pain. And because my son is right, no one deserves to sit alone with tears." Lucas lowered his eyes, touched deeper than he expected. I don't think anyone has said something that real to me in years." Timmy hopped onto the bench between them, holding their hands in his tiny mittens. "We can be your Christmas friends," he announced proudly. "Only if you want." Lucas let out a small laugh, the kind that escapes before you can stop it. "I'd like that." They stayed together for almost an hour, talking, laughing, sharing warm stories as snow kept falling like a blessing around them. When Emily finally stood to leave, Lucas felt an unexpected fear inside his chest, the fear of losing something he didn't even know he needed. "Wait," he said gently. "Could we meet again? Even just for coffee?" Emily paused, surprised, but then she smiled, warm and sincere. "I think we'd like that." Timmy nodded eagerly. "See, Mr. Borrowing my mom works." Lucas bent down to the little boy, pulling him into a tight hug. "You didn't just lend me your mom," he whispered. "You saved my Christmas." As they walked away, Lucas stayed seated on the snowy bench, staring at the cookie Timmy gave him. For the first time in years, his heart felt warm. The world didn't feel empty anymore. And he promised himself something. He would never go back to being the man who lived behind walls. That night, under the glowing tree, a lonely CEO found a family he didn't know he needed, and a hope he thought he'd lost forever. And if you want more emotional, heart-touching stories like this, don't forget to subscribe because your support inspires more beautiful stories to be told.